Southern Victoria Village Council meeting, Monday, July 10th, 2023. Call to order. Record of attendance. Disclosure of conflict of interest. If you have any, you may declare it at that time. So we're looking for the approval of the June 6th and 26th minute meetings.
I'll move those. Second.
Any discussion? Second sheet is shut. All those for. We. Oh, ayes. That's against. Thank you, carried. Delegations, number 5.
I don't see anybody.
Okay. Unfinished business. 6A, solar project tender.
Yeah, we received two tenders on that last week on the solar project that we're looking at doing. That we're just reviewing the technical specs and the pricing now, just to make sure that we're putting in a format that we're comparing apples to apples. So we'll hopefully get those sorted out in the next week or so, and then I was going to have a meeting with the Light Commission to go over them, and also they've got a revamp on the Light Constitution or whatever. Just had a quick meeting, just go over the two, but it's kind of funny. We put the budget range we had, whatever it was, around 150 to 200. Both bids come in at like 199, but for different type projects and things like that. So we'll look at the specs of it and showing how much each one generates and that kind of thing. And there's different options that we were given. One, so sort of like a materials only, where if we want to do the install ourselves, or if we want the turnkey package where they just come and install everything. So we'll get through those and have that information for council to look at.
Healthcare meeting.
Yeah, it's today and Wednesday at the Legion, and that's with Horizon to talk about their new strategic plan they have for working with communities. I believe we have 11 or 12 people that confirm their attendance. Somebody from the invites that we sent out, so I'll send a reminder. Well, I'll send one tonight. I meant to get off today with Horizon just to confirm that they are still on for Wednesday. I believe they haven't heard anything different, so I assume we are. And so now I'll send a reminder tomorrow to everyone to the meeting.
What time was that?
At 10 a.m.
10.
And did we confirm if we can do Zoom as well and record it?
Yeah, Nikki's setting it up with the Legion so we can set it. Now, I haven't confirmed with Horizon yet, but we're planning to do it. Okay.
We've used Zoom before at the Legion with something I was to, I don't know what it was, and it was somebody was zooming in for.
But also to record it, I think it's.
Yeah, the recording is they get permission from Verizon for that.
Okay, thanks.
6C, woodlot harvesting tender.
Yeah, the Chantal reached out from the marketing board today. They had 2 proposals for the cutting and different rates. She's going to view. She hadn't worked with either of these companies before personally, so she wants to go see some of the plots where they've done select harvest. So she's making an appointment, I think, this week to go see the parcels that they looked at, and then she'll get back to us with her recommendation.
Great.
Those.
Okay, 7A correspondent letter regarding the swimming pool. I wanted to let you know that I had 2 individuals come and talk to me about
Same
the problems with the pool.
Okay. There's the same pictures of pool.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
They should be the pool.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I believe that Justine had run over to look at the concrete issues before the pool opened this year, so I'll talk to Brent and find out how serious it is and things, and we talked about trying to do that work. Justine mentioned about doing it next spring, but to me, if we can do it this fall, it'll be the time to do it for, if you can fit it in, it'd be the time to get it done.
Well, it takes longer to get ready in the spring with all the other things that have to be done, that it would be better for the time of the fall to get it done and get it finished.
Yeah.
How old is the pool?
The pool's 91,
91?
yeah.
So like, are we reaching a spot where we would be thinking in 5 years, or is it, maintainable?
Well, we've got a new building there, we've got new pumps after the flood. The site work saying there's not a lot of issues with the training pool, the splash pad. The issues seem to be more like cosmetic type stuff that where the stuff needs to be updated and
Okay.
refreshed and
Yeah.
that type of thing. Like, I don't think we're anywhere as near the point of saying, let's tear the whole pool down and do something new.
Yeah,
We can get by spending a reasonable amount of money there, we can get the washrooms fixed up and get the decking around the outside and, get the concrete work fixed. Like, I think if we could do the cosmetic stuff pretty reasonable compared to the cost of a new pool. There was a community nearby that had a quote for a new outdoor pool and it was, I think well over $1 million. I think Brent told me that, for an outdoor pool, but so we could fix her up. So,
Mm,
and get a lot more years out of it. It's like the Zamboni, spend enough money on it, it'll last forever. Yeah.
7B, version zoning.
Yes, this is something new the province just brought out. They're allowing municipalities the opportunity to make it mandatory for affordable housing to be included in any new apartments that are being built. So communities have that ability now to say that if somebody's building, say, for example, a 12-unit building, that so many of them have to be set aside for affordable housing purposes. Some communities appreciate the opportunity to be able to do it. Some communities will enact this fairly quickly, while other communities, especially the rural communities, may or may not be as aggressive. Yeah, so that'll be a decision of councils, but
No, when I was reading that, so you could designate that all have to, or all in certain areas have to have. So you had both options of everybody who built housing would have to have so much a percentage of affordable, or in certain areas where housing is, like, for example, if you're close to amenities like groceries and things like that, then you
Yeah,
have to have more, and then if you're further away, that wouldn't be as enticing for someone with lower rent.
yeah, I believe when I read through it, like, for example, in your the zoning that permits multi-unit dwellings.
Yeah.
Say, the communities could pass it in there.
Yeah,
But in the rural areas that necessarily in your plan, it wouldn't necessarily apply to there, communities can sort of tie it to a specific zone, so
Yeah.
to speak.
Mhm.
But it'll be interesting to see the feedback too, and see what UNB is commenting on this. The province, when they release this stuff, and not only to have the 28-day opportunity for feedback, that really doesn't leave a lot of time for communities, municipalities, and everybody to get a chance, because by the time we get it, and understand it, and then have a council meeting. So if you take it, especially during the summertime, it's some of the stuff falls through the cracks pretty quick and gets through. And for some reason, all of this stuff gets released on Fridays for some reason, but well. But no, so like I say on that, I'll follow up. It's information for council, and I'll see what UNB is doing with Dan, and maybe on the UNB call this week. Dan probably want to talk about this anyways.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's Dan Murphy. Yeah.
That's been submitted, right?
Yeah.
7C, EB housing strategy.
Yeah, that's the whole document there was posted on the site there for the new housing strategy. There's been positive and negative feedback around the province. I don't know if council's heard any of the reaction on the media. Some people are concerned about the financial aspect of it, but there does seem to be some money in the way. And of course, we're fortunate we signed to council too. The application we did with the Manor, they've been approved to participate in the housing hub pilot project there. So we'll follow back up with some more information on that, of how that's going to roll out. That was great news for the Manor. We're looking to do some housing for their staff and things. So that was good news. And this sort of falls in line with council's strategic plan, that about housing being one of the key pillars and things. So
That housing accelerator, the accelerator fund, yeah.
yeah, the one application's into that by I think within a month or something,
Yeah,
so we'll follow up.
yeah, we need to follow up that way, yeah.
Do something back for council consideration and
Because when I was in on that meeting, like population growth that, they're talking about
Yeah,
1.1% over 5 years from when you start until you're, but I don't see how they give you the money and the growth doesn't come to that happens, how can they?
yeah, it started with that population, of course, we've been fortunate with all the. Whatever, in other words, 30 or 40,000 people that moved to New Brunswick. But the province, from my understanding, their projections are to show. Immigration still ticking up over the next 10 years. And the population numbers and. And in that study, they talk about the housing units that they want built, it's a tremendous amount of housing units they want built in the province, so it's interesting times. I think it's in other communities who are doing multi-unit developments, the larger ones, and companies from Ontario coming in and building apartment complexes and things, so. Who would have thought in the Western Valley, you'd have real estate companies from Ontario building apartment buildings, well.
Well, there's not enough contractors in the area to build anything. And they're not doing it. Not here anyway. There's a shortage of all workers.
On that housing, the one with the manor, that you work in cooperation with someone who's looking for employees. Is there any way that you could extend that in any way that we could build more units that would be eligible for people who might be working someplace else?
Yeah, we'll work that out
Yeah.
through the process, and
Okay.
that might end up over into the other housing program too. Like, I think the province would like communities to come up with their own housing strategy, and they'll financially support communities to develop that. Like, say, for example, if we want to work with developers to do a certain area, that they'll come up with sort of or potentially help us fund a study and a resource person to come up with a specific strategy and how we're gonna do that.
municipality. Oh, sorry, 70.
So,
Oh, yeah. Municipal.
yeah, municipal week, that's in September 18th to 24th, but took me a while to find it in the document. I didn't find it, it was buried inside, it wasn't on the front page.
Yeah.
But this started last year, and the staff did some things last year during municipalities weeks. We'll certainly do something again this year. Justine and Bethany will work on something and come up with some
When
promotion.
we did the barbecue and different things.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll do that.
70. UMNB. That's
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah, but Zoom meetings Wednesday night, 6:30. That's open to any elected officials in the Western Valley.
Is it? Did we get a link on that?
Yeah, I think you did send it.
I'll send it out to council.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I should,
Yeah,
other people in municipalities, I think, shared it with.
Yes, with their council.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great to that. Dan Murphy's gonna be on that, and he's right on top of all these
Yeah.
key issues and things, so. He can answer a lot of questions the elected officials have.
7F.
And this one's probably the one that has the most impact
yeah.
on us. The province come out with their statement of public interest regulation. And basically, this is a document where they want to promote these provincial goals for planning. They then in turn, like the regional service commissions, to develop regional plans that support these statements. And then in turn, municipalities will develop their own plans to support these statements. So now that we have to do our municipal plan over to include the new entity, this would be the time for us to review it. And this is something where they've put this out and they want feedback by July 28th. And, it's and I just skimmed through the document once and things, so I'd like to back through it again and send some feedback or just any of the concerns that I see with it. And I'm assuming that the committee that Sheila and I are on with UNB will have a meeting to discuss the impact of this on communities, and particularly for us, for council, is the flooding the flooding aspect of their statements of interest there and things, so we should be attuned to that to make sure that they're not creating any statements that are going to handcuff our businesses or residents on the floodplain area
Yep.
or within the new floodplain if we get that 100-year.
That
flood.
meeting this week is Wednesday at noon, but we're at the Health, Horizon Health.
No, that'll be done by before noon.
Okay, great.
Okay, so if council, if you, council member, if you guys review that, document, the, PSI, if you have any questions about it or any suggestions, just let me know.
Did I miss something? Because the second link really doesn't fit with anything for the public review. Is there like a larger document?
Yes, yeah, there should be some, yeah.
Okay.
If you go to
The first link?
You had to go inside the first link, there was just a little
Did I miss it?
Yeah.
highlighted with a colored blue or something like that, and you went to that, and then it took you into, then you had to find it in that.
yeah, I think it just takes you to like the regulations page,
Regulations page, and then you have to find it.
and then there's like 2 or 3 regulations for review.
So it's, okay, so there, I did find it. So it's very, very short.
Mhm.
It's only 3 pages.
Yeah.
long, and it really is. Is there, are you having a meeting on those 3 points to approve that, or is there something
Yeah.
deeper than this?
I believe, I thought there was something a little longer than that, some of the background stuff.
Yeah,
I'll check on it, Sheldon. I thought I copied the file in there.
you may have, I was clicking around and all I saw was, it was just changing 3 clauses. But the description you just gave me is a little bit more concerning in terms of what it's trying to cover
Yeah, actually, I think it's in your,
in the folder.
in this, in tonight. Yeah, there's a document, there's statements from public interest. I think it's like, I see it's about 8 pages, but I think that includes a francophone too.
Okay. I guess I was only looking in the electronic part, so.
Yeah, it's 5 pages in here, but the flood hazard areas, is one of the concerns for us.
I'll take a read.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, 8A. Reports here.
Yeah, this whole report, that's included in your package there, the different stats, for the month. Like always, some things roughly down. I don't think there's anything too dramatic on that as far as, staff goes, for during the, past month, the roofing is being done at I think it's done at the fire hall, the library's coming up, if it's not done yet. Of course, the street sidewalk cleaning, still got some areas we have to finish up, along with the patching. The fellows been doing a great job patching. I think we got down three truckloads today. The final strategic plan for tonight, the solar project tender, flood mitigation project, woodlot tender, dangerous and unsightly premise bylaw for tonight. Of course, all the summer programs and. For example, one of the things, the tough month this year, it's phenomenal, the response to it this year. We're up to, I think, like 115 or 120 people. Our largest one ever is, I think 100. Justine said, so
Yeah.
the enrollment is huge and we still have until the 22nd, so we're still picking
And
up.
she put out another press towards Moncton area and stuff like that, because there's some people there who come before, so they're putting the press up that way too.
Yeah, and even, we're doing some Facebook ads in Halifax and in PEI just to see,
Hmm.
you know, for the cost of the $26 to try it, just to see if it, what we pick up and things, so.
Awesome.
So anyways, around that weekend, it's a tremendous event, and as far as I know, we're the best and only Tough Muck event in the province this year.
Nice.
Everybody comes, like each year when I'm at the finish line, and they're always talking about it and saying that they have tried them in other places and they really like this one. They like that the obstacles change. It's not the same event every year, so.
Yeah.
And if anybody has something they have spare time that we can use them. Help them.
But then other things, the PAC had a meeting regarding a variance request, reviewing the plans, of course, with the expanding municipality, the planning, I'm finding more work outside the municipality than outside as far as new plans and stuff coming in. It seems to be more, which makes sense, just geographically, it's a much bigger area. More things there. And then, of course, the hearings have finished up and hopefully won't start back up again until October, so. Those sort of things working on, and of course,
Going to
the,
the courts now.
yes, yeah,
I'm gonna take it to the courts to try to get the raise that we're gonna get.
yeah. Yes, other than that, so like I said, the staff have been busy trying to get everything ready for the summer and things, and of course, the weather we had was hold us back some, but hopefully now we'll get some nice weather. Get things done.
Okay, so we're gonna go fire department.
And in your kit there, these fire department calls, the year-to-date calls were are 73 compared to last year, or sorry, 74 compared to 83 last year, so we're down down a little bit. We've had structure fires 17 so far this year. Motor vehicle 18, so you can see the different numbers. False alarms 10, which is up from last year's 6 and things, so. It's always, we're fortunate to have a great fire department, all the volunteers and the work they do is great.
Council reports, okay. I've got a few things. So on the 3rd, I do believe with June, I went down in Saturday, I went down in Lawrenceville. And it was to do with the solar eclipse of 2024. So they're all making all different plans on different things because it's gonna go right through us. We're right in the middle of it, so that might be something we wanna focus on to economic development kind of thing. That would be good. I had a meeting up at Aroostook, and I had Marilyn Camblin, who is a RN that's retired. She bought Carl Morrill's home. And she said about how that she's known of different clinics, which I think this is good for our meeting that would be Wednesday. She called them nurse practitioner clinics. And it was made for nurse practitioners and special incoming specialist doctors, you know, for different things. So that was really good. Vicki Martin was in, and she wanted to know information about flood programs for businesses that were affected by the flood, if there's anything available yet. Okay. So, and the water tank was a main concern of that. And so she was wanting to know where we were at with about the Aroostook water tank. So I said that we were gonna apply for whatever we can and get that rolling. Okay, so let's see here. With the Western Valley River Service Commission, NNI. So the NI has hired a new director, Adrian, I think this is called, name is Adrian Witt. And there's still 2 more positions available. That's what he said. They've only hired 1, but there's still 2 more spots that needs to be filled for those jobs. Now, my meeting is the 26th of July down there in Fredericton. So that's, we still haven't been filled. So there is Peter Cook that will be also from the area of Heartland area there, old stuff along there. He will be going also to that meeting. Community Development Advisor. So it has been appointed. The committee has been appointed. There has not, she said, not been a meeting. And that is because they've been focusing right now on getting their grants, which were just approved from, I think they called it ESIE. Anyway, it's a grant, anyway, they've been approved, so the money's there for that committee. And right now they've been heavily focusing on the transportation programs that are trying to get the transportation going anywhere. And I was sitting there thinking about that urban ride. It'd be really nice right now to get people to help get their groceries or make it to the bank, or, you know,
Yeah.
I
I take people to food bank and groceries.
yes, and Judy does too, all the time. We had a meeting on the 19th, so I was gonna ask that question if there's any way, because I know of a lot that just don't have, and you can't carry boxes of groceries from down there to there, like.
In order to be part of the urban ride, you have to, rural ride, you have to apply for the program.
Yep.
And for some of them, that's a delay because they don't have online to apply or whatever it is. So that's a problem for some people. If they don't have computer, if they don't have this, they applying for it. Generally, once they're approved, and then it only costs a little bit if there's a fee, if if their income is at a certain level, they don't pay. But if their income is above that, they pay a little bit, but a
So
lot
is
of
that-
people haven't applied for it.
Is that mostly for healthcare appointments or is it for anything?
It's mainly for healthcare and medical appointments, but it will do food bank. I know that it will do food bank.
And I'm gonna mention that to see where we're in a situation that people can't go to the Save Easy and buy their whole, I mean, a lot of people buy their groceries on the first of the month and then on the 20th of the month, right? When they get the 2 checks, and if they don't have wheels to go. And a lot of them are having issues to be able to get their check cashed, because you can believe the amount of checks that were cashed at the independent to get their stuff, you know?
Right.
So they're unable to do that, to even to be able to go anywhere and buy. So
And
it's-
see, what
it's
was
really bad
happening for
situation.
many of them, they were calling the independent, putting your grocery order in, and the independent would actually deliver it to them. So for them, that's become an issue. So
Has anyone heard the recent update on when they expect to be open? I haven't heard
they
it.
said 4 to 6 weeks, last I heard.
That was 2 or 3 weeks ago.
That
when I
was
said
about a
4
week
to 6
ago.
Do you think they care if I stop? Yeah, and see the manager? Wouldn't hurt, right?
Yeah, that way we can make a plan, because people could even call in grocery orders and if.
But you have to-
I volunteer to
Yeah,
pick it up
the thing you have to
at the grandpa's.
thankful for is that. Like out at the truck stop over at Salty Peanut up at, at Stolten's, they've all added more things to
Yeah.
their produce
That's
and
right.
things so that you can get a lot of the things. Now you get potatoes, you get some, and with the Nissens and with the others, you can get a lot of your stuff in
The
town
only
still.
Thing is, I mean, which of these are great, and I'm so thankful that they have, but there's people that are on. That, I mean, they might have 2 kids in their self, and then they get 800 for the month.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And they've got to make that little budget.
Yeah.
Meet their portion of their rent
Yeah,
or their power bill.
Yeah.
And then to be able to buy their food, so. I mean, a lot of people might be eating Kraft macaroni and cheese daily,
yeah.
which has gone double, but you know what I mean? The thing is,
It'd be
so
good.
I am gonna ask that question at the meeting that I have this next week
Yeah,
with them.
I wouldn't wait. So you should reach out to them now to see if they would consider doing it.
Okay.
Instead.
Well, I'm actually going to, for Friday. Thursday. French Friday down and so I'll make that point. to
It
come
wouldn't
to them.
hurt too if we had some way to help some of these seniors do applications, like go
Yeah.
to their place with your laptop. Or some way, because they probably don't have internet, right, and help them get registered for this
Rural ride.
ride, because that way. That sets them up, not just past this issue, but
Mhm.
for other, other. to get registered,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And
And
they haven't had a meeting with that rural ride committee and the RSC, so because I'd asked to be on it, and then they'd asked me to be on it, but then they've never had a meeting.
so we have a meeting on the 19th, but I will ask prior. And that's when we're gonna go over the strategic plan with them. It hasn't, they're gonna have someone showing it to us that day.
Yeah, the
That's,
strategic plan, like, RCs are required to do one around the province, all of them had to do it. And I think we're the only region where it's really not been sent out to municipalities for reviewing things.
It hasn't come to us yet.
yes, it is, they,
But I think
we
it's,
develop within our own self, they develop it. And then they send it out, they're supposed to send it out to the councils through you people, and then get it back, but the deadline for them to have it into the province will be by July. So it'll be a finished thing, without us seeing it.
When I discussed that with Caitlin, they are ready to show it to us. We actually met down at Andrews. For breakfast and dinner actually, and had our meeting and did our paperwork then, like, and I showed you pictures where we put it all up on the windows and.
Yeah.
And stuff, we went all over that, and then that went to the company. So the 19th, we're gonna go over it, it's gonna be, delivered to us to go over.
But it has to be into the province.
yeah, that was kind of the feedback. I know
Yeah.
that Fredericton,
Already
the
have theirs.
Fredericton one, theirs was given to them and one of the communities wanted to respond 2 days later and they were told it was too late.
Mhm. Well, So it's
So,
too late for us to put anything into it. The strategic plan is too late for us because when they present it to you, it's already final.
I know that it's been presented as.
Yeah.
This,
Yeah.
on the 19th.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like I said, every region's done them different. Ours has been more of a closed
Yeah,
close group doing it.
So, and plus, I told you about talking to 2 people about the pool. I think that's okay. Sean?
We both attended the Youth All-Star event and, it was also at the candidate day.
Oh, I forgot, yeah, that's right.
I think I saw quite a few, you know, Sheila right across paths.
Yeah.
Both well attended, the Youth All-Star was again a great celebration. I think you also spoke
Yes.
at graduation.
Oh, I want to I forget everything I did.
Okay.
It just runs. Hey, I forgot, yes, I did, I got up and did a short and sweet little speech for graduation and then, you're right, the awards and Canada Day.
Too hot for a long speech, I am still, I'm sure there are who got alternate. And you want to take this beautiful day.
I don't have any updates.
I had a library meeting in June. Also, the UMNB Municipal Reform Committee, the 14th and the 28th of June, and we talked about the tax differential till 2032, which was part of the big, with a 7-cent increase maximum. Then we talked about the RDC share in capital expenses and how a lot of capital expenses aren't being budgeted because they have to make up, there has to be a non-deficit budget, so therefore capital expenses are kind of in the way, back to the wayside, and we don't get to do a lot of those. I replied to Bill 45. Any response they got mostly was just justification of why they were doing it, but no explanation of why it was happening. UNB are chasing it.
That got tabled in the end.
It did, yeah, they got didn't have time, so they tabled that, and it'll come back in the fall. And then the Community and Social Development Committee is only going to be mayors again, which you're concerned about, because it's just loading all these committees onto the mayors, and they should have others. So people are fighting to get more representation from other members of that. And then, of course, it was a 50, Bill 45 was a concern about ministers' ability to repeal bylaws and, you know, and tie through them. So then I also attended the affordable housing meeting on the 15th. It was a Zoom meeting. And they're talking about the housing accelerator fund and an overview of that. And we divided into smaller groups and gave ideas of what types of things are important. There's 2 streams. There's one that's for smaller than 10,000 people and larger than 10,000. And they expect the population growth to be 1.1% over 5 years. And they were to demonstrate the results in 10% housing starts over 5 years. So they want you to get these started and actually have them in place. And it's supposed to support municipalities in their development of, and there's supposed to be support available to us to help us with that housing the housing accelerated fund to help us apply for that. And I know Justine has looked into some of that. So those were the main parts of that. You were part of that.
Yeah, I was actually part of that meeting also, the housing.
I ended up being the spokesman of one of those groups, but anyway, infrastructure, they want it to be shovel ready. So if you have some ideas and keep going, so when it is, they want it shovel ready.
Yeah, which you also brought up, which was the good thing about we're sewer ready, like we have stuff involved. I forgot I was at that meeting too.
Yeah, when I mentioned the fact that you've got up in that area, you've got places, you already have the sewer and water in. And so that when you're going and building things, the village is looking ahead and saying, well, let's put the sewer and water by this place. We're not using it right now, but we have. And so when it has to be shovel ready, that's going to be good points for us when we apply for one of those. And then I went to the downtown gift card meeting. That's a private label Visa gift card. I found that it's really not, if not for us, it's supposed to be a BIA specific, but it's for much larger communities. the fees that we would have to pay to them for people, you know, in Ontario or wherever they're from, buying a gift card for somebody here for things. I don't think there'd be enough to, and it costs just to launch it is $12,950. So I think it's totally wasted thing.
So the eclipse is here the 8th. It's gonna be April the 8th. When it's gonna be one by 2024.
And then Canada Day, I'd gone because been asked to help serve Cape later on. And other than that, just looking forward to the swim meet, to volunteer there and the Tough Mudder
Provincial swimming.
provincial swim meet.
Provincial swimming.
So also too, there's a new signature snowmobile trail. For it's called Heritage Island. It's in the Woodstock Heartland in the Calden North area. It was another big thing that's happening. Okay, let's go on. Bylaws.
Sarah, how about you? Did we
Oh,
skip you?
Sarah, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I think I didn't make it to the last meeting. I don't have any updates really.
Okay. You said they were in my book. Okay. First one, motion number and title 9-23. Oh, declaration of vacancy. Ready?
Yeah, just a background on that is per section of the act, we shall by resolution declaring a vacancy in council. We had the resignation letter received from Bill Stevenson. So we need a motion to acknowledge a resignation of Bill and declare a vacancy for the position. And that we request the municipal returning officer organizing a by-election to fill the vacancy. There's by-election scheduled for October, late October, so I believe it's October 23rd. So council moves second, declare the vacancy.
I would move we acknowledge that resignation.
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
I
Opposed? Carried. It was the 10th, right? Number 2,
This one's land acquisition. In the background, on it's just the strategic investment land plays a crucial role in development of a community long-term development. To acquiring land enables municipality to accommodate growth, so stimulate development, and plan future infrastructure. The projected use for this parcel is for industrial and or green energy development in the future. And this is the almost 9 acres of PID 650509 or 0890. The borders on French Drive Road, and I include a copy of it, and the price is $45,000 and the transfer cost.
over.
Okay,
Second it.
Any discussion with that before? No? Okay. All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
I
Opposed? Carried. July 23. Okay. C.
Yeah, this one's the Jane Church unsightly premise bylaw S1. This would be our first. We'd have to do 2 motions here. One being of the first reading of the bylaw, and then the second motion approval of the second reading. And this is, of course, every community has to, or has the opportunity to establish a bylaw to enforce dangerous and unsightly premise issues. Of course, with the municipal government reform now, municipalities have to update their bylaws to reflect the new boundaries. So for example, in the LSD area, we didn't have the ability to enforce the unsightly premise or dangerous premise bylaw. That once this passes and afterwards, that we'd have the ability to do it outside. Right now, we only have it within the municipality, so.
Move.
Second,
I'll second. Okay.
Any discussion? All in favor?
aye.
Aye. Aye. All in favor?
Nice.
Carrie.
I'm nodding half the time, like you guys are kind of going in and out and tinny, so I'm just nodding. Yep.
Carrie. I'll look.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, okay, so this is,
Public safety, it's not in that. kit there.
it's not here, that's right, all right, we go to town.
Yeah, the public safety motion, and this just sort of talks about this council, it's one of the strategic pillars, in the strategic plan coming up. Public safety, drug use, theft, and vandalism are growing issues in all communities. To address these issues, council would like to move forward with the following action items. So we'd like someone to move that to council support the following initiatives, support public safety efforts in the community. These 6 items would include the review and develop a proposal to expand the use of cameras in the community, provide $2,000 in support of the Citizens on Patrol program, continue to provide educational information that we do on social media and through our newsletter, and invite to the RCMP to do a crime prevention session for our residents and businesses that hopefully could be recorded and then posted on our website afterwards as an educational tool also. Develop a financial incentive program for residents and businesses to purchase security cameras. And this would be based on a 15% rebate for camera purchase or 15% of 1-year subscriptions, but work the details out on that program. Develop a policy for use and access to security camera recordings. Basically who could have access to that information. And explore partnerships with local businesses for patrols and research any liability issues that may be concerned with that type of patrol. So would like to
I'll move that.
Second, for
One
sure.
second. Yep.
Sheldon already, good story.
It's okay. There's a lag.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Carrie, oops. We're good. Yeah. Same.
And the next one, the choose plan, I've got in your kit there too, the actual, I guess, the cover page, we incorporated some pictures also from outside. And the picture, nice looking picture of our gorgeous council included in there. And then the 1-page executive summary from that. And again, this is a working document for council, it can be.
I'll move it to get on the table.
Sheldon, second.
I did, yeah.
Discussion?
So this is a working document that changes can happen as we're working along
Oh, yeah.
with the year.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify that.
Right on.
Right, and I understand that too, but I'm still gonna make my point that I think that the team that working for us is great and their opinion means a lot, but I still think that at the end of the day, when it comes to voting and rating, it has to be our doing, not staff, because we're the ones that are voted in to make those decisions. Okay? Anything else? Okay,
We don't vote on
all for favor?
it.
Hi.
Opposed? Carried.
The next one's the audit approval, is a motion to adopt the financial audit. It's been posted on our website already, that was done by Lenahan McCain Associates.
So move.
I'll move.
You can second, how's that?
Or I'll second, one of the two.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed, carried.
Mhm.
I didn't have a comment on it, so particular to that motion, but I just wanted to say that he answered all of our questions.
Yeah.
Quite in depth and sometimes, without, prompting or anything, so I was very impressed with his
Yeah.
ability to cover all those.
Yeah.
Yeah. You did a great job.
Okay. It's new business.
There's still one more
Oh, I'm
motion.
sorry.
Mower purchase. And that's to discuss the proposal to trade in and update the mower, mowing deck with our trade-in value. For a total of 24,289. As I mentioned, prior that'd be paid by the Perth Amber Workers, it's more used basically exclusively in that ward. So that'd be total cost, like I said, 24,289. And the attachments that we had for the previous mower will all fit on this one.
Okay, come over. Second.
Me-
Okay,
second.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. New business.
So the first time ever.
Yeah, well, now it happens every now and then, especially in summertime. There's some stuff that I put under correspondence. That could have been. But I thought I'd get you while you were keen earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh. We need to move into camera, No?
I have a couple questions actually that maybe we could go in camera for. I'm not sure. I mean, it's nothing serious, but I just wanted to ask a couple things that I forgot earlier.
Sure,
So we
can I
have to
have a
move-
move in camera?
Sure.
Tammy? We don't need anything else, right?
We just need to stop the recording.
Yes.